What's going on, family? Day here again. Haven't done one of these in a while. Just want to get my thoughts on this because I've seen a lot of reviews on this, and just want to get my thoughts on it because just been saying for me lately, the Marvel movies haven't been doing it for me. They're not bad. It seems like they're getting like I wasn't a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't for me. I just didn't like the route they took. I understand why they did it, but it wasn't. I just didn't feel it. And I actually like the Marvel space stuff more than like I said. My favorite character of all time is the Silver Surfer. I just don't like the way the Marvel the space stuff played out in the Marvel universe. So or how they presented it. I shouldn't say how it played out. I just don't like how they presented it. And Guardians 2 was even worse about it. And Thor Ragnarok was it, that just wasn't didn't feel like they had to do that with Thor. It just felt like they didn't have to. And I just didn't feel Thor Ragnarok. So uh, I didn't. So I haven't done any kind of reviews. Even Homecoming, it didn't disappoint me. It was just like it was just okay. I guess it was. I wasn't blown away by Homecoming. So when it gets to this movie, and Wonder Woman, I was very like I said, I did do a review for Wonder Woman because I was happy how they did that movie. So coming into Justice League, the Comic Con trailer had got me excited for the movie. Then all the back scene, I wasn't watching the videos, but I kept, every time my video feed would come up, there was something about a problem on set of Justice League. So me going in this movie, I was like, I just decided from this movie on, just go in and try to enjoy whatever, because it's not gonna. None of these movies are gonna be what I want them to be or how I think they should be. And I'm not one of these that everything. I know when you do a movie, you can't adapt everything from the comics. As long as they try to capture the essence of the characters and try to stay faithful to the source material. Which more, all these movies are doing is just some ways they, like I said, the way Marvel has presented the last few movies is not flying with me. It's the slapstick and all this is just not my thing. This is gonna be a long one because I'm probably gonna ramble. I took notes so I don't, so I make sure I get the points I want to get across. So first of all, I want to talk about all these. I, that's why I say just gonna stop. Just go into these movies, just trying to enjoy them, because for a time we weren't even get this. Just get some of these movies, so I'm just gonna try to enjoy them, and I'm gonna do less and less. It's hard to avoid them when they pop up on the screen, but I'm not gonna be watching a lot of no more behind the scenes. All this behind the scenes, I still don't. I only watched first two trailers of every movie, so I'll still be doing that. I don't try to watch everything, any news, any kind of info that comes out. I think the biggest problem with everybody today is that everybody wants to know everything, and then when they go see a movie, they're so disappointed. Stop trying to know everything. You might enjoy the movie a little bit more if you don't know everything, you know. But that's just one thing, because Here's the thing. I was getting. You see this when Batman v Superman came out. The one complaint was the movie's too serious. Not enough jokes in it. And now WB does this, try to adjust, and now it's too many jokes is in the movie. So it's like, what? I'm not understanding what do you want? Do you want slapstick like Thor, which I did not want. I did not want a slapstick comedy for a Thor movie. Or do you want a super hard? You don't need a super hard serious movie either. But I don't. I'll get to that when I talk about them. Like I said, it's gonna be rambling. Uh, so it's just I don't know. I'm just gonna try to try to enjoy these movies as they are. Hell, no, that's not a thing to say now as they are, but you know, they're not. They're not gonna be what I want. I understand that, so I'm not gonna keep my expectations so high anymore. So you know they just not gonna be what I want. So got to see what they do. They do. They pay homage to some of the stuff from the comics. You know, they keep the characters from the comics. They keep the characters in line with how they are in the comics to some degree. You know, respecting the source material. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. They respect the source material to the best what they can do in a movie, because comic books and movies are two different media. So you got to understand that. So I'm not gonna try to be. I'm not one of those guys that wants everything from the comics to be in the movies, but you know, they got to find that balance. I understand that. So um, anyway, let me get to the review action movie. That's just one I want to say that so you understand where I'm coming from. And I'm doing this with the big three because I don't have a cyborg. I would have the whole team up here, but I don't actually have a cyborg. I'll discuss him in a minute. uh, so this movie, the word mixed bag has been coming up with this movie a lot, and that's the best way I can describe it. I didn't want to use the same term as everybody else, but that's the best way I can describe it. For me, it's a mixed bag. I actually, I don't think the movie's bad, but it's just a mixed bag. For me, I think I enjoyed the last part of it the most. When they was doing battle with Stefan Wolf, and that's I think really helps the movie. It really helped. I really enjoyed finally seeing like Wonder Woman going, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Superman going like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I enjoyed seeing because those are two characters I've really liked in DC lately more than any of them, and I enjoyed seeing them going into battle with Stefan Wolf. But just a mixed bag. So like I said, I'm rambling. I don't want to took notes so I don't make sure I get to the points I want to make. So mixed bag is the best way I can describe it. For scores out of 10, it'd probably be 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. Out of 5, or 3 out of 5. And the problem is Justice League should not be those numbers. Justice League should be at least an 8, 7, 8, or 7, 8, or 9 out of 10, or at least an 8 or 9 out of 10. And a 5, it should be 4 or 5. And let me get to my biggest problems with the movie And my biggest problem is the editing with this movie. Warner Brothers, whoever is your editing team, whoever you got on payroll with ed, you need to let them go. Get rid of them. This is twice you've had this editing team, whoever they are, edit stuff out the movie. This movie is edited so badly. Oh, it's so badly. And I'm not one that noticing that really gets into the editing. If it's somewhat decent, I think Man of Steel was edited better than this a little bit, but just a little bit. But both of those movies, I'm not Man of Steel. I'm sorry, Batman v Superman and this movie were badly edited. This movie, so they just, whoever is your editing team, you need to get rid of them. They edit stuff out the movie that should be in the movie that probably would help the story along better. And I don't know why you keep this. You didn't learn your lesson. We thought you learned your lesson with Wonder Woman. You thought you did, but it seems like you kept the same editing team. Whoever edited Batman v Superman edited this movie, and they're just not good. They're not. This movie's badly edited. And that was one of my biggest problems with it. The editing, it was just like you could tell they edited some scenes out of the movie. Whoever your editing team at WB on these movies, you need to get rid of them. Just they've done harm to your movies twice. Editing stuff out of the movie, it's just you need to get rid of them. My second problem is another problem that most people are having. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm not defending Stefan Wolf, but he's always been a favorite of mine, and I am disappointed at how he turned out in the movie. But what I'm gonna say, I'm not saying this to defend him, but I think most people weren't listening or didn't hear his motivation. I think I got his motivation. Is that when I forgot to say this is spoilers, so I forgot to say that too. So like I said, so from here on, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry. I should have said this before. It will probably be in the title already. So, but yeah, this is spoilers. So I'm just talking about the movie as you've seen it. So this I'm warning you right now. So this is a spoiler field review. But anyway, in the movie, Stephen Wolf said, from what I'm getting, the flashback. And the first time he came to Earth, he was defeated. So what I'm getting is that, I'll get to that. I'll get to the dark side stuff in a minute, but. Darkseid was since he failed conquering Earth, Darkseid banished him, and his whole thing is he's trying to. This time he wants to conquer Earth so that he will become part of the new gods. He will take his place. He says this. He will take his place among the new gods, his rightful place. So I think this is his motivation why he's here. Not just, and also, to to serve Darkseid. So I think I got his motivation. I think most people did not hear that or are not understanding that. So, but I'm not saying that to defend Stephen Wolf, because he was disappointing for me also in the movie. He was disappointing. But the major disappointment with Stephen Wolf was the CGI, because it just no time did it just not look right. And I do understand. You got I know some people won't hear it. They just think everything DC does sucks. So, but you got to understand that this movie had two different directors. One that came on and wasn't there from the start, and only had 6 months to get this movie finished. But still, the CGI in this movie is not up to par. It should have been. it's not up to par as this. For this kind of movie, the CGI should have been better. I can say that. I'm not blind like, oh, the CGI. I'm not blind. I'm just saying. You gotta understand what happened with this movie. If you don't understand, it's not to make excuses, but yeah, this the CGI in this movie at times is very, very suspect, and Stephen Wolf was very disappointing. This design still looks cool, but it's just the CGI was not done well with him. He just did not look right at any time on the screen. So that'll take away for some people. It didn't take away, but it's so noticeable. So uh, I guess that's probably my problems with the movie. But that goes WB. Quit being so reactionary. I think this movie that's movie feels like it's such a some of the things feels like it's so much reaction to what everybody's saying. So I hope I understand you're taking a shift, and you're doing shifting things a certain way that you want to go. So stay this course. Do not change no more. Do not be so reactionary that you're going into some kind of other, like, because I feel Marvel, their movies getting too going too joke heavy for me. So don't stay the course wherever course you're going. Stay this course, and I will say it's not a negative, but the jokes. I don't think some people saying it's too much jokes. I don't think. I think they were okay. I don't think it was too much. Some of them weren't. You can tell probably forced in there, yeah. But I don't think it was too much. Like I said, I think the jokes come from everybody's reaction of not enough jokes, and then when they put them, it's too much jokes. I just don't understand that. What they're trying to, I think they're trying to find the balance, and I think hopefully they'll find the balance as they go forward. Don't go overboard, because I'm telling you, all these movies getting too jokey is getting me out of the movies too much. I think the jokes in the movies were fine enough. So but I guess that's all my negatives for the now. I'll talk about the two surprises that surprised me. Well, not the two. Well, the big one that surprised me, and I'm not the biggest Cyborg fan. I'm not. I don't. I'm not. I don't hate him. I'm just not a big fan of him. Never was. So that's why I say I don't have a figure of him. I'm not the biggest Cyborg fan. But what's his name? Ray Fisher. This guy he did a very good job as Cyborg. I think this Cyborg. That's what I wanted to talk about too. But that's actually a problem with DC Comics. I think there's a lot of us that didn't want this lineup to be the Justice League, and what I'm talking about is Cyborg replacing John Jones, and that's actually like I said, that's a DC Comics problem. For some reason, they've seemed to like forgotten about John Jones. To me, I don't know. Even though Rebirth has been cool, but they still seem like they've forgotten about John Jones. And if you don't know, he's actually the original one of the original members of the Justice League, not Cyborg. And for some reason, DC Comics has forgotten about him. And I understand why they brought in Cyborg for this movie. I understand. I'm doing it quotes, but I've never been a big Cyborg fan. Most people want him with the Titans, and that's kind of where he kind of works the best. But I say for this movie, Ray Fisher did a very good job. I was really happy how he performed as Cyborg. Now I do wish, I guess this was a negative. Like I said, the CGI. At some points his CGI was good, but I still wish they could have made him a practical suit and CGI'd over the suit instead of having him full CGI. Like I said, maybe like I said, they probably didn't have enough time. They didn't finish, not making excuses, but I still think that would have been better. They had made him like some kind of practical suit and CGI'd over it. I will say they do the more classic look for him at the end of the movie. He does get the circle, the more how Cyborg looks in the comics at the end. So, but I was surprised on how well he did Cyborg, and he's more. You won't. I don't think people will be disappointed with Cyborg. From what I'm seeing, nobody is. So I was actually surprised. Uh, yeah, that's my big surprise in the movie. Who else do I want to talk about? I will say the Mira looked very good in the movie. She looked good. I think some of the Atlanta stuff was cut out of the movie. I think it's just a victim of, like I said, the bad editing, the bad editing of this movie. The Atlantis scenes, I think some of it was cut out. Uh, and you gotta understand that the Aquaman movie's coming, so maybe they want to save some of that for the Aquaman movie. I understand that, but I still think some scenes were cut out. The Atlantis, but I hope the underwater. I hope they do the underwater scenes a little brighter. It's still I understand it's underwater, so it did look good. It's still a little. It was still a little murky. I guess the best word I could say. So I hope it, given time, that they can get that done. Because we didn't see a lot of Atlantis, like I said. I think some of it was more because it got edited out. But that's just my take on it. So I am I am excited to see where this Aquaman movie, what they do with that. So get to our guy here. I'll talk about that. I guess this is it's sort of a negative. I guess I'll talk about it. The way he came back, I'm not a big fan of the way he came back. I think it was changed. Like I said, Zach had to step away. I think he was going to go a different way. And if I'm understanding this right, this way was kind of better, the way they brought him back. If I'm understanding it right. But I'm still not a fan of them. The way they brought, like I said, spoilers. They used the Genesis chamber like they did in BVS Superman to make Doomsday. They put his body in it, and they had to have Flash charge the mother box. They explained that the mother box can bring They explained that the mother box kind of it creates and destroys life, but it can regenerate cells and stuff. So, and they say the reason he is, since he's Kryptonian, his body does not degenerate like a normal human. So he's kind of still. It kind of retcons what happens at the end of BVS Superman. That's why I said I'm not a big fan of it. But if I'm understanding it right, the way they would have had him come back, he would have been straight up evil. I'll just say it this way. This way I think they did it. They have the Lazarus Pit in it, but without having the Lazarus Pit. They have a Lazarus Pit moment, but without having the Lazarus Pit in it. If you don't know, the Lazarus Pit, uh, what it does is causes if you go in it, once you come out, you're reborn, but you get a sense of madness, and I think that sounds like them using the Lazarus Pit sounds like something David Goyer would come up with, but I'm not sure if that's where they was gonna go with that. I'm not sure, but that that's what that sounds like. So they did this was what they did with it. When he came out, he was kind of he wasn't filled with madness, but was confused that he did attack the Justice League. So I think that's what they wanted to do. The Lazarus Pit without doing the Lazarus Pit is what how I can explain it. And like I said, I'm not a fan of it, but I don't know. But once he came back, this I think, like I said, like most people are saying, I think this is the Superman people have been wanting. Although, like I said, I'm still a fan of Man of Steel. I like the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, but I do agree that more so in BVS, he was not Superman that we've known in the comics. Like I still will defend Man of Steel. I think people did not keep saying he didn't save nobody. He saved. I don't understand why we're still having this conversation. He saved the entire planet. And if you were watching the movie, before Zod came, he just discovered who he was. He just learned how to fly. He was not the Superman saving people yet. I don't understand why people don't get that. That he was destroying. Zod released the world engine. It was not Superman that did that. He saved the entire planet. I do not understand why people do not get that. I will say this. That's why I said I was gonna ramble on. Make sure I hit all my notes here. We'll say this. Even though I am a fan of Man of Steel, I do still like Man of Steel. There are some things I would tweak about Man of Steel that will lead into BVS. I like the ultimate cut. I understand. Like I said, that movie was badly edited. Also, but my biggest problem have been with that movie, both of those movies, was the underlying religious tones in the movies. We all know Superman and the Superman Jesus Christ comparison. If you've been reading the comic books long enough, everybody knows that. I didn't go to the movies to be preached to. If I wanted to, I'd go to church for that. That's my take on that. I just did not like the religious undertones they was doing with both Man of Steel and BVS. And I'm so happy that they did not go that route with this. So like I said, when he comes back, I think this is the Superman people have been wanting. I'm just I'm glad they kind of got away from the religious undertones of Superman. It was more about him, the Superman, like in the comics, of the guy who's supposed to be here, inspiring other heroes and inspiring the world, not the religious undertone allegories. Everybody knows that already. You know, they need to preach that and put that in the movie. For me, that was. I just not. That's